No one really understood the magnitude or mystery of the lines for hundreds of years. It wasn't until the 1920s, when a Peruvian archaeologist happened to glance down a hillside, that the full picture came into view.
The Nazca Lines, vast, mysterious geoglyphs etched into the arid desert of southern Peru, have mesmerized the world for centuries.
I'm here in southern Peru in the remote Nazca Desert, and this is a Nazca line that depicts a giant whale. From here, it might not look like much.
From towering animals to intricate geometric shapes, these colossal markings spark wild theories. Were they ancient astronomical tools, sacred paths to the gods, or, as some suggest, alien landing strips? Discovered from the sky in the 1920s, the lines quickly became a global enigma. Now, thanks to breakthroughs in AI and modern technology, scientists may have finally cracked the code behind these ancient wonders. What if the answer is far more extraordinary than we ever imagined? The journey to uncover their true meaning has only just begun. Origins and early discovery. The Nazca Lines, vast enigmatic geoglyphs etched into the desert floor of southern Peru, continue to intrigue historians, archaeologists, and curious minds around the world. These mysterious formations, which have survived for over 1,000 years, speak volumes about the ingenuity of the ancient Nazca civilization. The story of their creation and rediscovery is as captivating as the lines themselves. The Nazca Lines are not just any artwork. Their creation and preservation are directly tied to the unique geography of the Nazca Desert. This dry and isolated region of southern Peru offers the perfect natural environment to protect these ancient artworks. Think about it. A place so arid that rainfall is nearly non-existent, with less than an inch of precipitation each year. It's in this parched landscape, where life seems to stand still, that the Nazca Lines have remained preserved for centuries. The desert floor is a perfect canvas for these massive geoglyphs. Below a dark layer of oxidized stones, the earth reveals a pale, yellowish-white layer. The ancient creators, without the benefit of modern tools, used simple techniques to scrape away the dark stones, exposing the lighter earth beneath. These shallow grooves, only a few inches deep, have endured through the ages thanks to the lack of rain, minimal wind, and the stable climate. In fact, the extreme dryness has kept these designs intact for over 1,000 years, like a natural museum, preserving the expressions of a long-gone civilization. The mystery of the Nazca Lines was largely hidden from the world for centuries. While the lines existed in plain sight, they went unnoticed by many for generations. The first mentions of these strange markings appear in the 16th century in Spanish colonial records. However, these early descriptions were vague and failed to grasp the full scale or significance of the geoglyphs. To the naked eye, the lines simply appeared as strange, cleared paths in the sand, leaving their true purpose and scope hidden from anyone standing on the ground. It wasn't until the advent of aviation in the 1920s that the Nazca Lines began to reveal their true scale and mystery. Pilots flying over the desert were the first to truly grasp the magnitude of these designs. From the sky, they could see what was hidden from below. Enormous geometric shapes, animal depictions, and intricate patterns stretching for miles. This aerial perspective led to widespread fascination and the start of serious scientific inquiry. In 1927, Peruvian archaeologist Toribio Mejia Quespi became the first to systematically study the lines, beginning the transition from casual curiosity to scientific research. However, it was Paul Kosak, an American historian, who in 1941 made a breakthrough observation. He noted that certain lines seemed to align with the winter solstice sunset, suggesting that the geoglyphs might have astronomical significance. Kosak's theory positioned the Nazca Lines as an astronomical calendar, a theory that would dominate the scholarly conversation for years to come. But it was Maria Riesch, a German mathematician, who would become the most iconic figure in the history of the Nazca Lines. Arriving in Peru in the 1940s, Raisha dedicated her life to studying and preserving the lines. Her extensive research linked the geoglyphs to astronomical events and cemented their place in the global consciousness. Raisha's efforts also laid the groundwork for modern conservation efforts, ensuring that these ancient masterpieces continue to inspire and puzzle generations. The Nazca civilization, which thrived from around 1 to 700 AD, was a remarkable society that managed to flourish in one of the world's harshest environments. The region they inhabited was a desert, where rivers were seasonal and rainfall was almost non-existent. Yet, the Nazca people built an advanced civilization, one that could not only survive, but also create stunning works of art on a massive scale. The creation of the Nazca Lines is a testament to the skill and ingenuity of this civilization. Without metal tools or wheeled vehicles, the Nazca people developed a sophisticated method of creating their geoglyphs. They worked in groups, systematically clearing dark stones from the desert floor to reveal the lighter earth beneath. The result? Large, visible designs that could be seen only from the sky, a remarkable feat for such an ancient civilization. At the heart of the Nazca people's success in such an unforgiving environment was their mastery over water. Living in a region where water was scarce, they developed a system of underground aqueducts, known as huquillos, to channel groundwater for irrigation. These aqueducts were a lifeline for the Nazca, helping them irrigate their crops and support their communities. Many scholars now believe that the Nazca Lines were not just artistic creations, but that they held ritualistic significance. The lines may have been tied to water ceremonies and prayers for agricultural fertility. In such a resource-scarce environment, the geoglyphs might have been part of a larger spiritual practice to ensure the continued flow of water, a vital resource that was central to the Nazca's survival. The Nazca Lines are not just a feat of ancient engineering. They are a window into the past, offering us a glimpse into the world of the Nazca people. These geoglyphs, which have stood the test of time, are an enduring symbol of human ingenuity, creativity, and spiritual devotion. From the sky, they tell a story of a civilization that mastered its environment and expressed its deepest beliefs through the creation of these magnificent designs. As we continue to study the Nazca Lines, each new discovery brings us closer to understanding the lives of the people who created them. And as we stand in awe of their beauty and mystery, we are reminded that these ancient artworks are more than just lines in the sand. They are the legacy of a remarkable civilization that flourished against the odds. Their story, preserved in the arid desert of southern Peru, will continue to captivate and inspire for generations to come. The evolution of theories about the Nazca Lines. The Nazca Lines are one of the world's greatest mysteries. These huge geoglyphs, carved into the desert floor in southern Peru, have fascinated scientists for decades. Over time, different theories have been proposed to explain their purpose. Let's take a look at how our understanding of these mysterious lines has changed over the years. For much of the 20th century, scientists believed that the Nazca Lines were created for astronomical purposes. The main supporter of this theory was Maria Raisha, a German mathematician. She spent years studying the lines and believed that they were giant tools used to track the movement of stars, planets, and other celestial bodies. Paul Kosak, another scholar, even described the Nazca Desert as the largest astronomy book in the world. Raisha argued that the lines were designed to mark important astronomical events, like the solstices and equinoxes. She pointed out that some lines seemed to point towards specific points on the horizon where celestial bodies would rise or set. For example, she believed that the hummingbird geoglyph represented a particular star pattern. This idea gained a lot of attention because it explained the large size and precision of the lines. It made sense that the Nazca needed such large and accurate lines to track important celestial events that affected their farming and religious practices. The idea that ancient people had sophisticated knowledge of astronomy was very popular, both among scientists and the public. It was exciting to think that people in the past could have created such a large and complex system just to track the stars. However, in the 1970s, new research began to challenge the astronomical theory. Some archaeologists found that not all of the lines seemed to align with important celestial events, which led them to reconsider the astronomical explanation. This opened the door to new ideas about the line's purpose. One of the most important voices in this shift was Johann Reinhard, who proposed that the lines were not for astronomy, but for religious and ceremonial purposes. He suggested that the Nazca people used the lines in rituals to ask the gods for rain and agricultural fertility. The Nazca lived in a desert, so water was very scarce, and their survival depended on it. Reinhard believed that the geoglyphs were sacred paths used in ceremonies meant to ensure water for crops and people. This new theory fit with the understanding that the Nazca people were deeply connected to their environment. Water was crucial for their survival, and rituals to appeal to the gods for rain made sense. The animal figures and shapes, like the spider and the monkey, might have had symbolic meanings related to water and fertility. The spider, for example, could represent rain, while the monkey might symbolize regions with abundant water. As research progressed, more scientists supported the idea that the Nazca lines were used for rituals and ceremonies. Archaeologist Anthony Aveni argued that many of the lines were designed to serve as gathering places for large groups of people. Some of the shapes in the lines, like trapezoids, were wide enough to accommodate crowds, which suggests they were used for ceremonies rather than astronomical observations. These lines and shapes may have been part of religious parades or pilgrimages. People might have walked along these paths while performing rituals, offering prayers, or making sacrifices to the gods. The process of walking these paths, along with the accompanying ceremonies, would have been an important part of their religious beliefs and practices. Moreover, the animals in the geoglyphs likely represented different aspects of life that were crucial for survival in such a harsh environment.
Like if you look at the spider, there's a spider there that's anatomically correct for a local spider that's there. And there's some aspect about the spider and a detail that they incorporate.
The hummingbird, spider, and monkey were likely connected to ideas of fertility, water, and abundance. These symbols would have been used in rituals to ensure good harvests and enough water. The way we understand the Nazca lines has changed a lot over time. What started as a theory about astronomical calendars has now become an interpretation about religious ceremonies and rituals. This shift shows how scientific thinking evolves as new information and methods of research come to light. Today, most scholars agree that the Nazca lines were more than just simple drawings. They were likely a way for the Nazca people to connect with their environment and the gods. Whether the lines were used for rituals to bring rain, celebrate agricultural cycles, or honor natural forces, they played an important role in the survival of the Nazca civilization. While we may never know the full story behind the Nazca lines, each new discovery brings us closer to understanding how this ancient civilization lived, what they valued, and how they interacted with their world. The mystery of the Nazca lines continues to captivate us, reminding us that sometimes the answers lie in the most unexpected places. The AI revolution in Nazca research. In 2022, a big change happened in how scientists study the Nazca lines. For the first time, they used artificial intelligence, AI, to help discover new geoglyphs. This technology has completely changed the way archaeologists research the ancient markings in the Nazca Desert, leading to exciting new discoveries. The breakthrough started with a partnership between Masato Sakai, a researcher from Japan, and IBM's research team. Sakai was already an expert in studying the Nazca lines, while IBM brought its AI technology to the table. The goal was to use AI to analyze aerial images of the desert and find hidden geoglyphs that had never been noticed before. The AI system was trained to spot the unique patterns that show where the Nazca people had made their artwork. It learned to tell the difference between natural rock patterns and human-made designs by recognizing features like shapes, colors, and stone arrangements. This work, which would have normally taken many years, was completed in just 6 months, from September 2022 to February 2023. This showed just how fast AI can help archaeologists make discoveries. The results of using AI were better than anyone expected. The AI found 303 new geoglyphs, almost doubling the number of known designs in the desert. These new figures included human faces with unique features, animals like llamas and alpacas, and even killer whales. These discoveries gave new insights into the culture and beliefs of the Nazca people. Some of the newly discovered geoglyphs showed very detailed human heads, which had never been seen before. Other figures, like the llamas and alpacas, reflected the importance of animals in the Nazca culture. The killer whale designs connected to myths from the coast. Most exciting of all, the AI discovered scenes that seemed to show rituals and ceremonies, giving scientists a glimpse into the religious practices of the Nazca people. These discoveries challenged the old idea that Nazca art was mostly focused on big, famous figures. The AI showed that the Nazca had a more varied and rich artistic tradition than previously thought. The new geoglyphs suggested that the Nazca people had an extensive way of communicating across the desert using symbols. The AI did more than just find new designs. It also revealed new patterns in where the geoglyphs were placed. Many of the smaller, newly discovered geoglyphs were found along ancient pathways that travelers once used in the desert. This led researchers to believe that these smaller figures might have been spiritual markers for people walking through the desert. Unlike the large, famous geoglyphs, these smaller designs were meant to be seen up close by people walking along old trails. The geoglyphs may have been used as signs for pilgrims, traders, or people in religious ceremonies. These signs would have helped guide people on their journeys, making the desert a place of spiritual meaning. This new way of understanding the Nazca Lines shows that the desert was not only a place for huge, visible art, but also a landscape filled with spiritual messages. The geoglyphs were placed along important routes, where travelers could encounter them on their way. The use of AI in Nazca research has just begun, and it's already changing how we understand these ancient artworks. AI has helped discover new geoglyphs and given us new insights into how the Nazca people lived and practiced their religion. As technology continues to improve, more exciting discoveries will likely be made. The Nazca Lines, once a mystery, are now becoming easier to study with the help of AI. Thanks to this new technology, we can unlock the secrets of the Nazca Desert and learn even more about the people who created these fascinating designs. Symbolic interpretation and cultural meaning. The Nazca Lines are not just large drawings in the desert, they are full of meaning. These ancient geoglyphs tell us about the Nazca people's beliefs, culture, and relationship with the world around them. The lines represent animals, people, and symbols that are deeply connected to their way of life. Let's take a closer look at what these symbols might mean. Animals played a big role in the culture of the Andean people, including the Nazca. Many of the geoglyphs depict animals, and each one carries a special meaning. Camelids, llamas, and alpacas. In the desert, llamas and alpacas were very important. They were used for carrying goods and as a source of food and clothing. The Nazca people depended on these animals for survival. In their art, llamas and alpacas are often shown, symbolizing trade, wealth, and daily life. These animals were essential for traveling across the harsh desert and high mountains, making them important in both practical and spiritual ways. Killer whales. Killer whales, or orcas, are another animal shown in the Nazca Lines. In Andean culture, the ocean and the creatures in it were symbols of strength and abundance. The killer whale, as a powerful sea creature, likely represented strength and the ocean's gift of food and trade. The Nazca people's connection to the sea is reflected in these killer whale symbols, showing how the ocean was important to their survival. Human figures. Human shapes appear in the geoglyphs as well, and they may represent more than just people. Some researchers believe these figures were connected to sacrifices or spiritual rituals. They could have been used in ceremonies to ask the gods for rain, better crops, or good fortune. These human figures remind us that the Nazca had strong spiritual beliefs, and their rituals were a key part of their culture. Before the Nazca, there was the Paracas civilization. The Paracas people also made geoglyphs, and their influence can be seen in the Nazca Lines. Earlier civilization influence. The Paracas civilization helped shape the Nazca's geoglyph-making tradition. The Nazca borrowed some of the Paracas designs, especially geometric shapes and animal symbols. This shows that the Nazca built on the work of the Paracas, adding their own unique style and meaning to the lines. Hillside geoglyphs. Both the Paracas and Nazca created geoglyphs on hillsides, which made their artwork visible from afar. This shared practice shows that the Nazca were influenced by the earlier Paracas culture, but they expanded on it by adding their own artistic touches and ideas. Cultural continuity. The connection between the Paracas and Nazca reveals a cultural continuity. The Nazca didn't start their geoglyph tradition from scratch. They were influenced by the art and culture of those who came before them. Over time, the Nazca made their own mark, creating even more complex and diverse designs. The Nazca lines were not just art. They had important ceremonial and communication functions. These geoglyphs helped the Nazca people connect with the gods, nature, and each other. Billboard theory. One idea is that the Nazca lines served as a kind of billboard or message board. The geoglyphs may have been used to communicate important cultural messages or guide people through the desert. The lines could have marked important paths or locations for ceremonies and rituals. Processional routes. Another theory is that the geoglyphs were used during religious ceremonies. Some of the lines were likely part of processional routes, where people walked along the lines during rituals or celebrations. These processions may have been a way for the Nazca to honor the gods and ask for things like rain and fertile land. Prayers for resources. The geoglyphs could also have been part of ceremonies to ask for the natural resources the Nazca needed to survive. The lines may have been used in prayers for rain, good crops, and enough water in the desert. The animals and symbols in the lines were likely part of these spiritual requests to ensure a successful harvest and a thriving community. Modern challenges and preservation efforts. For many years, scientists have worked to understand their meaning. However, despite their importance, the Nazca lines face several modern threats. From human activities to the impacts of climate change, these ancient geoglyphs are at risk. In this article, we will look at the challenges the Nazca lines face and the efforts being made to protect them. One of the biggest threats to the Nazca lines is illegal mining. The land around the geoglyphs is rich in minerals, which has led to illegal mining operations. These activities can harm the fragile desert floor where the lines are located. Mining can damage the land, leading to the destruction of the geoglyphs. In addition to mining, there are also unauthorized settlements in the area. These settlements can cause pollution and environmental damage, further harming the land and the lines. While tourism brings attention and money for the preservation of the Nazca lines, it also creates problems. Every year, thousands of people visit the site to see the geoglyphs, but some tourists do not follow the rules. Some people walk too close to the lines or fly too low during aerial tours. This can damage the fragile ground. Even small actions like littering or touching the geoglyphs can have lasting effects. With more tourists visiting each year, the risk of damage increases. Managing tourism and ensuring visitors follow the rules is a big challenge for preserving the site. One major incident occurred in 2014 when Greenpeace activists placed a large banner on top of one of the Nazca lines. This caused public outrage because the banner was set up directly on a geoglyph.
From here, from the Nazca lines, we're sending a strong message to political leaders, and with this we expect that they take action urgently.
Though Greenpeace claimed there was no lasting damage, the incident showed how easily the lines could be harmed. It highlighted the vulnerability of the Nazca lines to both intentional and unintentional damage. The event made it clear that more efforts are needed to protect the site from human interference. Climate change has made weather patterns in the region more unpredictable. The Nazca Desert is usually very dry, but now heavy rains have become more common. Flooding can wash away parts of the desert floor, causing the geoglyphs to become blurry or erode. This risk from flooding adds a new challenge for preserving the Nazca lines. The desert environment is already fragile, and changing weather conditions make it harder to keep the geoglyphs intact. To protect the Nazca lines, the Peruvian government has put measures in place to restrict access. Only a few people are allowed to visit certain areas of the site. This helps to prevent damage caused by tourists. Only those with official permits are allowed to get close to the lines, which reduces the chance of harm. These restrictions ensure that the geoglyphs remain undisturbed and are protected from unnecessary damage. Another important measure is the use of monitoring systems. Authorities use aerial surveys and ground inspections to track the condition of the Nazca lines. These systems help to spot any damage early and respond quickly. By monitoring the site closely, scientists and conservationists can protect the lines before any damage becomes serious. Regular inspections ensure that the geoglyphs stay in good condition. In some areas of the Nazca lines, protective fences and barriers have been placed around the geoglyphs. These barriers prevent visitors from getting too close to the lines and help guide them to designated viewing areas. Fences and barriers also reduce the risk of damage caused by foot traffic and ensure that the geoglyphs remain intact. Visitors can still enjoy the site while staying a safe distance away from the fragile ground. The Peruvian government is working with international organizations to protect the Nazca lines. Laws have been put in place to prevent illegal mining, construction, and settlements in the area. These laws are enforced to stop activities that could harm the site. In addition, the government works to raise awareness in local communities about the importance of preserving the lines. Education programs help people understand why the Nazca lines are so valuable and why they should be protected. Future research and technology integration. The Nazca lines are one of the world's most fascinating mysteries. These ancient geoglyphs have been studied for many years, but there is still so much to discover. Modern technology is helping researchers learn more about the Nazca lines and find new ways to protect them. Let's explore how technology is shaping the future of Nazca lines research. One of the most important technological tools used in studying the Nazca lines is drones. Drones allow researchers to take pictures and videos of the lines from above, providing a bird's-eye view of the entire site. This makes it easier to spot new geoglyphs and document the lines in great detail. Drones can cover large areas quickly and capture high-quality images without touching the ground. This technology is less invasive, meaning it helps researchers gather data without causing any harm to the site. It's also useful for monitoring the lines over time, making sure they are being protected properly. Artificial intelligence, AI, is another technology that is being used to study the Nazca lines. AI helps researchers track the condition of the geoglyphs by analyzing photos and videos. It can spot small changes or damage to the lines, such as erosion or signs of human activity. AI systems can also detect new geoglyphs that might be hard to find with the naked eye. This technology allows scientists to keep a close watch on the site and quickly respond if any damage is found. AI makes it easier to preserve the lines and ensure they remain safe. High-resolution imaging is another key technology being used in Nazca Lines research. With high-resolution cameras, researchers can take extremely clear and detailed photos of the geoglyphs. These images help scientists study the lines up close, looking at fine details that were not visible before. High-resolution imaging also helps create detailed maps of the geoglyphs, showing their exact locations and measurements. This technology is crucial for documenting the site and making sure future generations have access to accurate records of the Nazca Lines. These modern technologies are changing how we study the Nazca Lines. Drones, AI, and high-resolution imaging make it easier to document, monitor, and discover new geoglyphs. These tools help researchers gather more data without harming the site, allowing them to study the lines in new and exciting ways. Even though the Nazca Lines have been studied for a long time, there is still a lot to discover. New technology is helping researchers find more geoglyphs that were hidden or too small to see before. Drones and AI have already led to the discovery of new lines, expanding our understanding of the Nazca culture. With future advances in technology, even more geoglyphs may be found, offering new insights into the lives of the Nazca people. The potential for discovery is still huge, and technology is helping unlock more secrets. As exciting as it is to discover new geoglyphs, it is also important to protect the ones that already exist. The Nazca Lines are fragile and vulnerable to damage from tourism, weather, and human activity. Researchers must balance the need to document and study the lines with the need to preserve them. New technologies like drones and imaging systems allow scientists to study the lines without damaging them. This makes it possible to document the geoglyphs while ensuring that they are preserved for future generations. The study of the Nazca Lines involves many different fields of science. Archaeologists, geologists, engineers, and other experts are working together to learn more about the lines and protect them. For example, engineers can design ways to protect the lines from weathering, while archaeologists can help understand their cultural meaning. By combining knowledge from different fields, researchers can get a more complete understanding of the Nazca Lines and come up with better preservation methods. If you're fascinated by the Nazca Lines, share this with others to spread the word about these ancient wonders. Stay connected with the latest discoveries and preservation efforts. Together, we can ensure that these incredible geoglyphs continue to inspire curiosity and respect for generations to come.